I got the invitation to go on this Armed Lutheran radio show, though. You know this guy? Have you seen this? There's two things that I would like to say that make me feel safe. Number one, the fact that there is a radio show called the Armed Lutheran Podcast somewhere in the world. That makes me feel safe.
Bringing you law, gospel, and guns. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Armed Lutheran Radio, a show about guns, hunting, competitive shooting, the natural right of self-defense, and what God's Word says about the issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. I'm your host, Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran. This is episode number 483. Thank you so much for making Armed Lutheran Radio a part of your week again this week. Thank you especially to all of you who are members of the Reformation Gun Club. Cannot say thank you enough for all of your support. The men and women who make this show possible through their annual and their monthly contributions. Really, really do appreciate all you guys and gals. And if you would like to join them and if you would like to help keep the show going, visit the website. There's a newly redesigned website, and you can go to reformationgunclub.com if you don't really have the time for any of the other faff and you don't want to go through the website. So if you go to the new website, just kind of keeping things simple. So you got some blue buttons across the middle there. Podcast will take you to all of the episodes. Video will take you to our YouTube channel. Books will take you to a page where you can check out all the books that I've written. Merch will take you to a website where you can buy merch. They're right down below the big block letters, Reformation Gun Club. Click on Contribute to the Mission. It will take you to our partners at Give, Send, Go. They are a Christian crowdfunding site. And you can donate there. Make a monthly or an annual contribution and come and join us for our next online hangout, which I promise is going to be soon. As you can probably tell from my voice, there's been a little bit of a kind of a bug of some sort going through the house, and I'm the last to get it, of course. And if so, I'm going to do my best to edit out all the coughing and the clearing of the throat in this episode. So, well, that's neither here nor there. I'm hoping to do an online hangout this coming week, as now school has wrapped up for the year. Volleyball has wrapped up for at least until the fall. We're in the midst of trying to get settled to a new church. We're in the midst of trying to, we just had a week full of final exams at my daughter's high school. The volleyball season, we thought we had our plans all laid out for next season, and then our club just changed everything, and everything went sideways. And so we've been going through tryouts at new clubs and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so for now, things should sort of settle out for a little bit, and so look for an announcement for an online hangout next week. Now, what are we talking about today? The one thing I had written down a few ideas over the course of the last week, but what I really was thinking about, the one thing that keeps coming back to mind is an incident that happened here at the Armed Lutheran compound that I thought I would talk about, and how it relates to your home security and home safety setup. Early last week, I think it was, Monday or Tuesday, doesn't really matter, neither here nor there. I got a late start and had I woke up late, got to my office and got started. Didn't really have time to go through my morning routine. So, I was taking a late shower, or an early lunch, taking a late shower, and I hear my phone notifications go off, And I get out of the shower and it's my wife sending me a message like, who was this at the front door? And apparently there was a gentleman had come to the front door. I'll use the term loosely. I don't know anything about him, but I'll just say gentleman. A gentleman had come to the front door and set off notifications. Our doorbell camera had alerted us. And I pulled up the video, and there's two lessons here I want to discuss. The first is the fact that it took forever for my video to come up. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Is this guy still around? Is he at the front door? Who is he? Because I can't see him. I'm only going on what my wife is telling me. Hey, there's somebody at the front door. But my video won't come up. And as it turns out, the network connection from my camera on my doorbell to our base station is very weak. We have very good internet, comes in the back of the house, however, which is a ways from the door. It's not a direct line of sight to the door. So, had a poor connection that would send us alerts to say, hey, somebody came to the front door, but it wouldn't pull up the video or give me a live stream of the camera to show me what was going on, which was very frustrating. So lesson number one, before we get into the rest of it, is to make sure that if you have this kind of a system, that you have very strong internet connection to all the devices in the house. I then subsequently went and upgraded a bunch of stuff, and that's not a problem anymore. But it was, of course, what always happens is you don't know there's a problem until there's a problem. And assuming everything was hunky-dory until it wasn't, and there was some stranger at the front door. Well, I finally got that squared away and was able to connect and to see the video of the person at the front door. And when the video did come up, to my great surprise, I found a gray vehicle pulling into my driveway. A gentleman, we will simply say gentleman, gets out. He pulled up far enough that I couldn't see him get out of the car, and I couldn't see him until he actually rounded into the sort of it's not really a foyer. What the heck is it? It's the landing outside my door where he comes around the front of the car and is suddenly visible. And I'm confronted with man boobs, a guy in a pair of shorts and no shirt and no shoes. Comes to the front door. He does not. At first, I thought he rang the doorbell, and the more I watched the replay of the video, it occurs to me he did not. He tried the front doorknob. Immediately turns back around, gets in his car, and drives away. Now, this came as a great shock. So I immediately am looking around the house to see if he's still outside. Obviously, he drove away, so I didn't think he was. Neighbors outside were mowing their lawn and doing stuff, and nobody seemed to care. But then someone in our local Facebook group, I thought maybe it was someone, this was someone who was soliciting. My wife was like, well, maybe he saw the no soliciting sign and he just left. I'm like, I don't know what he's soliciting with no shirt and no shoes, but okay. So I messaged around in our local community social media groups. Anybody seen this guy? Anybody know who this is? Maybe, because it occurred to me from the way he behaved that maybe he thought he came to the wrong house. A lot of the houses in this neighborhood are similar in design. Maybe he realized when he got to the front door, oops, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I thought maybe he was known to the folks in the neighborhood. Well, he was not. And in fact, someone else had reported seeing him like prowling around behind fences. I don't know about that. That's what someone said. So they called the police. Another person who works at the nearby high school, which is only a few miles up the road, said that they had seen him wandering around in the parking lot shortly after this. So I called the police, I spoke to someone, and a few hours later I got an update from them. And it turns out that this gentleman, they said he was harmless, but I'm not entirely certain of this. They said he was apparently suffering some sort of a mental break, maybe PTSD related. He got confused. He was very dehydrated. They had encountered him on our major thoroughfare here, Highway 289, which is a 4-lane divided highway. And he apparently was wandering around or driving on, I don't know which. They said they found him wandering on that highway, and they had stopped him and checked him out. He was having a bit of a mental issue, got confused, wasn't sure where he was, got lost, and he checked out and they sent him on his way. They said they helped him and then sent him on his way. I don't know what that means. They didn't elaborate. I'm sure they couldn't. It might mean, hey, we gave him some cold water and got him, had somebody give him a once-over, a medical check real quick, and I don't know. But in any event, they seem to think the guy was harmless. I'm not entirely certain of that, because especially if this is a PTSD-related thing, because what occurs to me occurred in the aftermath was, this guy tried my front doorknob. What if the door had been unlocked? Would he have come in the house? Would I have stepped out of the shower to find what looked to me like probably about 6'2", 6'3" guy with no shirt and no shoes on in my hall? I can assure you that had that happened, Stanley Steamer would still be working on the carpets. So I would have shat myself. But fortunately, I did not leave the door unlocked. I'm a stickler about that, and that's something I did want to bring up. As the responses, as people were sharing this information in our social media groups, there were a couple of responses to, Second Amendment stuff, and then there were a lot of keep your door locked, make sure you've got an alarm kind of thing, and reiterating the importance of very basic home security stuff, which is really what I wanted to talk about today, which is, we talk about and we think about home security in ways that are really, if you think about it, kind of complicated. We think about guns, and we think about where guns are staged in our house, and we think about alarm systems and cameras and all this stuff. The most basic thing that you can do to secure your home is to lock the door, right? Lock your doors and keep them locked, even if you're home, even if you have a safe neighborhood. We have a very safe neighborhood, but we keep the doors locked at all times. There have been occasions, however, where one or the other of us will pop out to the mailbox down the street and leave, and then close the door behind me and, walk the 100 yards down the street to the mailbox and come back, leaving the door unlocked. We don't do that anymore. We will not be doing that anymore at all. Or going out, for example, through your garage to work in the yard and leaving the garage door, the interior garage door, unlocked. That's something we no longer do either. We did that kind of, we were bad to do that. I will say I am bad to do that. Not anymore. The simplest thing you can do to protect your home doesn't involve cameras. It doesn't involve alarm systems. It doesn't involve a gun. It involves keeping your doors locked at all times. Because you just don't know what might happen. This was a very rare, this has never happened before. I'll tell you the story about how I became the armed Lutheran. This was before I was even a Lutheran and before I was armed. We had a guy come to our front porch back in North Carolina in the middle of the night. The difference is he was looking for my wife. My wife worked in social services, mental health, as a therapist and a counselor. And this guy came to our house in the middle, somehow figured out where we lived, came to our house in the middle of the night. He's standing on my front porch, beating on the front door with, I don't know whether he had anything in hand, or any weapons. I do not know. He was a crazy person. And all I had was a golf club. I had a 9-iron and a 22 Marlin Model 60 rifle with no 22 rounds. So the best I could have done would have been to have beaten him with it. It was after that. It was the very next day that I went to a gun store and bought my first handgun, and then immediately went to the range and learned, kind of familiarized myself with it and how to operate it and how to shoot. That's how I became the armed Lutheran. Before I was armed, before I was Lutheran, that was what did it. Fortunately, I did keep my doors locked at night. Back in those days, 30 plus years ago, you could sleep with your windows open. You could sleep with the doors unlocked. You didn't really have to worry about that stuff. I don't think we ever slept with the doors unlocked. But you could sleep with your windows open. You can't do that stuff anymore. The most basic thing you can do to secure your home is to make sure that your windows lock securely, that they can't be easily opened from the outside. But the very simplest, the basic thing is to make sure that your door is locked at all times. Do you have a deadbolt? Do you have a lock in the doorknob? Do you make sure that you use them both? Do the hinges have extra long screws so that they actually penetrate deep into the frame to make sure that the door is not able to be kicked in easily? Those kinds of things. You can also add little things to delay people if they get past the door locks. Think of the kind, like chains, or think of the kind of things that you would see in a hotel room. Those little things that flip that prevent the door from opening all the way. I don't know what those are called, but you know what I'm talking about if you've ever been in a hotel room. But that is the most basic thing you can do. And if you're not doing that consistently, if you're assuming that, well, I'm just going to be outside for a minute, if you're going to be working out in the yard, for example, and this is something that I was bad to do in the past, which was to go out through the garage, roll the garage door open, take the mower out, mow the front yard, go around to the side of the house, around the side of the house, then go out into the backyard and mow the backyard. All the while, not only is the garage door up, but the interior garage door is unlocked. I don't do that anymore. Make sure at all times that you keep your doors locked. You may think to yourself, well, I'm in a safe neighborhood. No crime around here. There's nothing bad. We live in a very safe neighborhood here. Very safe. We're in one of the fastest growing cities, one of the 5 fastest growing cities in the country. But we are on the very edge of the growth where it's still away from pretty much everything. And you generally don't see a lot of strangers driving through. It's safe. Kids are out playing all the time. It's a safe neighborhood. But don't let that false sense of security lull you into letting your guard down. Because if I had not locked the door that day, and I had gone out earlier in the that morning, gone out to get the mail, if I had forgotten to lock the door, that guy would have been in my house. Dazed and confused and PTSD ridden, he would have been in my house and caught me and my wife off guard. At which point, now the next step comes into the next layer of your home security comes into play, which is how easily can you get to your gun? Where are your guns staged, and how easily can you get to them? Now, this guy may have been, as the police said, completely harmless. He may have just been very, very dehydrated and very, very confused, and he might have stumbled into the house and been very apologetic and then turned right back around and left when he realized he was in the wrong place. But you never know, especially when you're talking about someone with PTSD. And when you're talking about mental illness in general, you just don't know. So, very simple lesson for you today, friends. Keep your darn doors locked. And then think about the other. That's rule number 1. Keep the door locked, even when you're just outside for a little bit. But if you're outside where you're not going to be in view of the front door of your house, if you're going to leave that door unlocked and then go around the other side of the house to work for any length of time, or walk down the street to the mailbox, or walk down the street to talk to a neighbor, don't do that. Lock the door behind you, even though you're not far from your front door. If you're not in sight of it, then you're leaving your house unprotected. And it only takes a moment for somebody to come into your house uninvited. And then once you've got that basic, very simple step taken care of, then you start thinking about the other ways you can secure your home. Lights outside your home at night, cameras, alarm systems, and then the staging of firearms. So all of those things, it's home safety and home security is a layered approach, or it should be. And the very simple, very basic layer that everyone needs to keep in mind and don't forget is to lock your dang doors. I hope you will do that and not have a shirtless dude walk into your house while you're in the shower in the middle of the day. That would be bad. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. That was what's been on my mind. I just thought I would share that interesting and amusing story. If you have an interesting and amusing story of a similar sort of thing, I would love to hear it. How did you handle it? What are your thoughts about how to secure your home and your property? What sorts of rules have you put in place? And how do your family members? How did you teach your family members about these rules, and how do they uphold them? And what sort of unusual measures do you take, or unusual events have you had happen that led to your sort of epiphany when it came to personal security, like mine back in the day? Visit the feedback page, or visit the new website. Down at the bottom, you'll see a big bar that says feedback. Leave us a message. We'd love to hear from you. You can also leave comments on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio, where we post our episodes. And let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. All right, that's all for me today. Next week will be, for episode 483, will be our, I think it's 483, or is this 483? This is 483. Next week for 484 is going to be our monthly online hangout with members of the Reformation Gun Club. If you are not a member, or if your membership has expired and you would like to join us, get an invitation to that hangout, visit reformationgunclub.com, or again, go to the website and click on Contribute to the Mission and come and join us. We would love to have your support, appreciate every penny that's donated, and we would love to see you at our next hangout. Until then, keep shooting, keep praying. We'll talk to you next time.
For show notes, be sure to visit our website at www.armedlutheran.us. Check out the Facebook page, The Armed Lutheran, or join our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio. If you like what you hear, please leave us a comment on our feedback page at armedlutheran.us/feedback, or a review on iTunes, and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Armed Lutheran Radio.